Record. Okay, great. People, please turn off your webcams. Okay, great. So we have started with information gathering. Yes, we started with information gathering and or enumeration, and we did a lot of gathering about your target. You try to understand the network architecture, network infrastructure, and you try to grab IP address and subdomains, what subdomains they have, and what technologies they are using, and things like this. We did a lot of things with regards to this, right? So after this, we have scanning. We'll go for scanning. We'll try to get more information. Um, More information about your target. I'll tell you what scanning you can do. And um, after scanning, we'll go for vulnerability assessment. I'll tell you what tools you can use, right? Vulnerability assessment. So when it comes to scanning, right? Scanning, yes, the number one tool, the best tool, what you have is Nmap. Nmap is one of the best tools which you can use, which can be used for scanning. Why is that so? In case if I go to Google and I type top 10 hacking tools, I just give top 10 hacking tools. I'm not mentioning the year. Top 10 hacking tools, and see here, you always have Nmap. So Nmap, yes, you should have seen this in movies like Matrix and other movies where they scan something, try to find open ports, do a lot of things with regards to your target. Yes, Nmap can be used. I'll explain it to you in simple terms. Okay, you are a computer here and your target is here. Yes, your target server, which is abc.com, is here. And what you have to do, you will have to first enumerate, first find out the IP address. Then you have to find subdomains. We have seen this. And you have to choose your subdomain which matches your objective, and then you'll have to find open ports. You'll have to find out which ports are open ports. In the sense, we have a lot of open ports. I think you should have seen this in Shodan. In Shodan, when you access a particular IP address, it will also show you which ports are open. Port number 80, port number 443 is open, FTP is open. You have so many things like this. Yes, we have to find open ports. Why? Because only through a port which is open, anyone from outside, an attacker from outside, can try to penetrate or try to attack a particular server or a particular computer only if this port is open, right? So we'll look for open ports. Then you'll look for running services. What services are running in these ports? Fine. After this, you will try to analyze the operating system, and the list goes on. Finally, you'll go for vulnerability assessment, and then you'll go for exploitation. So these are the basic information which you should know about your target in order to understand your target much better, and in order to perform a perfect exploit, right? From attacker's point of view. So yes, IP is over. This is over. Now, when it comes to open ports and running services, what tool you can use? You can go for Nmap, right? You can go for Nmap. Nmap is one best tool which you can use. It's called network mapper, right? Network mapper is Nmap. It's used for scanning. And what types of scans you can perform? You can perform both internal scan and you can perform external scan, right? We'll leave internal scan. Internal scan is not needed as of what we are discussing here. We'll go for external scan. External scan is where you can scan your target and try to find something. So when you open up your terminal and type Nmap, yes, the command goes like this, right? You'll type Nmap, and then you can give your target. Say I can give something like this, kct.ac.in, right? I can give something like this, or I can include few options. I'll include -st kct.ac.in, or I can include something like this, kct.ac.in -a-o. I can include something like this, or I can also include something like this, o-small v, this, or you can, oh my god, no. See, and you can include -yes, yes, capital V, and you can give like this. So fine. Every option here will have different meaning. Fine. All the options, whatever I'm going to include, have different meaning. This is going to be a plain scan. Plain scan in the sense it's just a normal scan to start with. You can use this, and this scan is called TCP Connect Scan. Why is it called TCP Connect Scan? Because I'm using an option here like this. Fine. TCP Connect Scan. And what is -a? -a is called aggressive scan. Aggressive scan. -o is OS scan. Fine. OS scan. And -v here means verbose mode. What do you mean by verbose mode? Verbose mode is going to give you detailed output. So -st is TCP Connect Scan. -a is aggressive scan. What do you mean by aggressive scan? It will perform three things. One is OS detection plus service scan plus it will perform traceset function, which is not needed. So you can perform OS and service scan, which will be needed for you. Fine. And -o, which is for OS scan, and -v is for verbose mode. What do you mean by verbose mode? It will give you detailed output. The output of what is happening in the background will also be given here. -yes v, yes v is for version scan. It is going to detect the version as well. Fine. So we'll try to use this and we'll try to find out what is happening here. Okay. When you open up your terminal in Kali Linux, you open up your terminal and here you give nmap. I'll simply give kc.ac.in. Fine. And in case of 2020 Kali Linux, you have to use sudo command, which gives you administrator privileges. Sudo nmap kct.ac.in, enter, and it is going to scan and it is going to give you results. It is going to tell you what ports are open with kct.ac.in, which ports are open. Right? And as I told you in the beginning of the session, we won't be covering the entire of this. Probably we'll be covering information gathering and scanning and vulnerability analysis. We'll stop with these three phases. Probably exploitation requires some time and it requires some understanding for you guys to see different types of exploitation. So we'll not be seeing that. Okay, look at this. When I typed nmap kct.ac.in, I got this result. What result? Port number 80, which is HTTP, is open. HTTPS is open. HTTP proxy is open, and HTTPS alt is open. Fine. So we have these many ports which are open. Now I'll just change this scan. I'll just change this scan to -sv. Fine. -sv and oh my God. Okay, I'll have to give it here. -yes v, enter, and now last scan didn't give us version, but now we have given -sv, which is for version detection. So let's see if this scan is able to give us any version, fine, any version of the software being used or the services being running. Fine. This is one, and in case you want to find the operating system, yes, you got the information from various other tools, web-based tools, but we'll also try this here. We'll go for -nmap, yes, capital T, -a, -o, I'll give -v, and I'll give kct.ac.in. Fine. When I give this, this scan is going to take a lot of time. Scanning is perfectly legal unless and until you try it once. Don't do repeated scannings for a particular target. If you are going to scan this once, then that is perfectly fine. You don't have any issues. You don't have to repeat the scan. Don't perform a longer scan, which is going to raise a lot of traffic that might be not accepted by your target. Fine. But normal, simple scanning, yes, it is perfectly fine for you to try. Okay, this scan is still loading. It will take some time. Meanwhile, this scan, I've already run this scan. See here, I've given sudo nmap -st aov kct.ac.in. Fine. I've given this, and what output did I get? Since I gave -v, which is for verbose mode. Fine. Verbose mode, I'm getting a lot of output like this. It is showing me what is happening in the background. Why am I getting this? Because I have used -v in my scan. Fine. For that, it is showing all the background things. I'll scroll down. See here, port number 80 is open, HTTP, and now we have got the version. Version is Cloudflare. Yes, version is Cloudflare. And when you scroll down, okay, it says it has HTTP robots.txt. There is one disallowed entry. What is that disallowed entry? Disallowed entry is WP admin. So WP admin is not allowed in KCT website. And we have seen this. Yes. When we go for kct.ac.in, enter, and we go for robots.txt. In robots.txt, they have one field which is disallowed. Is it true? Yes, it is true. See here, they have disallowed WP admin, and that is what you are able to see in your scan. HTTP robots.txt, one disallowed entry. Fine, one disallowed entry, and what is that? It is WP admin. And Cloudflare is a server, cloud-based server, and scrolling down, it can give you this much of information. It gives you a lot of information about your target. Fine, scroll down. And it is also trying for OS detection. Scroll down. Okay, for this, it is not able to get any OS matches. It says no OS matches for the host. That is fine. And when you scroll down again, finally you'll get traceset. Traceset is this, the path taken from my IP address to till the destination. That is traceset. Fine. So from my computer here, it goes to my router, and from my router, it crosses different routers until it reaches the destination. Fine. So it gives so much of useful information, nmap. And let us see if we have got information for this. -sv. Yes. So in the last scan where we gave sudo nmap -sv, we gave only -sv, which is going to detect version. Previously, we didn't give any version. We just gave nmap kct.ac.in. It gave us this result. Yes. And now when we gave -sv as here, when we gave this, we get the version of what is being used. Yes. So you can use, no, you don't have to use a VPN while using this, because it is not a crime. You're not doing anything. So it is perfectly fine to run a simple scan like this and to check what is happening in the background. Yes. And there is one graphical user interface of Nmap, which is ZenMap. In case if you're interested, you can also use this tool called ZenMap, which is a graphical user interface of Nmap. It won't be in command line. It will be in a graphical user interface. I can show you this ZenMap. ZenMap, when you go to images, it will be something like this. Yes, fine. Where you will have a graphical interface of ZenMap, wherein you can give your target here, give your target IP address or domain name here, and then just go for scan. It is going to give you output. Right. So I think Nmap will be good to do for the initial stages. Nmap can help you a lot in identifying open ports. Nmap, the output, what can be the output? It can give you open ports. It can give you running services. It can detect operating system for you, right? And yes, you also have options for coming up with new scripts and performing different types of analysis. Yes, Nmap can also help you with that, but that's on a advanced level. But in a basic level, yes, Nmap can be used for this. Right? Now, going for vulnerability analysis. Vulnerability analysis. Okay, how to know if there is a IDS, IPS and firewall while doing scanning? In case if there is a firewall, you might get this state, fine? This will be filtered. In case KCT College has a firewall, and if that firewall is blocking your scan, probably you'll get the state to be filtered. It will be shown as filtered or TCP wrapped. Filtered or TCP wrapped. In case if you see the state to be filtered or TCP wrapped, then you will be knowing that your target is using firewall and it is not giving you output. It is not telling you whether the port is open or closed. It says it is filtered, which means you don't know whether it is open or closed. Okay, we'll go for vulnerability analysis. Vulnerability analysis is something, is identifying weakness. Identifying weakness. What do you mean by identifying weakness? Identifying weakness is identifying weakness of your target. Fine. You're going to identify the weakness of your target. Yes, here we have web-based tools. You have web-based tools and you also have OS-based tools. You have web-based and you have OS-based tools. When it comes to OS-based tools, vulnerability analysis, say for your understanding of what we have seen, right? Of what we have seen till now, we'll go for a tool called Derby. We'll go for a tool called Nikto. We'll go for, okay, this would do, fine. We'll go for Derby. What is Derby? Derby is directory buster. Directory buster. What do you mean by directory buster? We used Google. Yes, we used Google for identifying vulnerable directories, sensitive directories. We started with this index of. Yes, I told you this index of, enter, and you might get index of pages like this. Index of. And few of you asked, in case if I have a particular website, fine. If I have a particular website, what I can do. So in case if you have a particular website, you can give like this in URL abc.com. In URL abc.com, or you can give site abc.com, so that you are targeting only this particular site and you're not doing a random search. And again, in case if you have an individual site like this and you wanted to test if the directory of any of the directories of this particular site is vulnerable or exposed, right? What do you mean by directory being vulnerable or exposed? Say sometimes www.abc.com/htaccess will be exposed. So when you have htaccess, I can say, yes, htaccess is vulnerable, or you can say WP admin, fine, or WP content, or log files, or backup, or trash. We have seen this, yes. And I told you, yes, you should be knowing what important directories are there. And when you know this, yes, you can give these keywords in Google Docs and try to find if you have any particular directory for your domain. We have seen this with the help of Google. But if you ask me, okay, Shankar, how many directories like this, how many sensitive private directories do we have? Fine. How many words or how many keywords do you have? You have more than 4,000 plus keywords. 4,000 plus keywords, which will be very tough for you to remember. And manually, when you try one by one, it will be time consuming. Yes, we have 4,000 keywords. What keywords? Like htaccess, WP admin, WP content, logs, backup, trash. Like this, you have 4,000 plus keywords. So imagine I'm going to type all these like this: htaccess slash ht password slash admin slash WP admin slash WP content slash backup. Imagine I'm going to create a file. I'm going to create a file like this with 4,000 plus keywords. Fine. And any URL if you give, suppose if you give www.xyz.com, if this is your target URL, fine. What this word file is going to do, just like brute forcing, what it is going to do, it will first try with the first keyword, htaccess, and it will check for the response code of the website. Response code. What do you mean by response codes? Response codes goes like this. HTTP response code. You will have to understand this. What do you mean by HTTP response code? We have different types of response code. You have 200 series of response code. Say you have 200. HTTP response code 200. What does it mean? It means success. Means success. Now, what is this response code and where is it used for? Whenever you visit a website, from my computer, I type google.com. I type google.com and this is Google server. This is Google server. So I send a packet from my computer. This is my request. What is my request? I'm requesting for Google's page, and Google server is responding me back with a packet, and this packet is called response. Fine. And this response is HTTP response. Why? Because this happens in browser. Now in this response, we'll have a code. What code is that? That is HTTP response code. So in case Google is agreeing, Google agrees to give its page to you, to your computer, to load in your computer, then the code will be 200. So which means success. Success means, yes, you got the page loaded. Sometimes it will say 404 error. I hope you should have seen this 404 error. What is this 404 error means? It means, no, the page cannot be displayed. Fine, something like this, page not found. So 200 series and 300 series, you have like 301, you have 302, which means redirection. Redirection is where it is moving to a different page. Fine, that is also similar to success, but that is moving to a different page. You have 400 series of response code, error 400, error 404, which means it's a client side error. Client side error, you have done something which the server didn't like, so the page cannot be opened. Right? You also have 500 series of error. 500, error 501, something like this, which is a server side error, which means there is no problem from your end. You are perfectly fine. The request which you gave is perfectly fine, but there is some problem with the server. In case if there is some problem with the server, you will get a response code of 500 and it will say internal server error. Fine. So we have different response code. Now, as I told you, we have different keywords which are placed in a notepad, and whenever you give a target, fine, it is going to take each keyword. It is going to take each keyword like this. It will take the first keyword, and the software, it is going to check what is the response code. In case if the response code is 400, it will ignore the packet. Again, it will go for www.xyz.com. Now it will go for HT password, the next one, the next keyword. And again, if it is 400, it will ignore. Then it will go for xyz.com/admin. If there is a folder called admin, what will be the response code? It will be 200. Right? This is the function of Derby. Derby Directory Buster has a word list of more than 4,000 keywords internally. So whenever you give your target URL like this, it is going to choose one by one all the keywords, and it is going to check which keyword is available. So in case if that particular keyword is available, what does it mean? It means that directory is vulnerable, that directory is exposed. I'll show you this. You will have to go to okay, we'll go here, open up terminal here and type Derby. If you type Derby and enter, the tool opens. See here, I type Derby and enter, the tool opens, and here you can see the list of options which is being used, and here is a syntax of how you have to use this tool. Right? Derby. Now let's use Derby here. I'll clear this. Now I'll type Derby. Fine. We'll go for a site. We'll go for this particular site, which is a government website. .go. It's a Brazilian government website. Okay, go see something. Fine. This website. So what I do, I copy this, and I have to give this here in Derby paste selection. So Derby and your target URL. You will have to give Derby and the target URL. In case if you give your target URL and enter, see here, it has more than 4,612 keywords. It has these many keywords and it is trying one by one. See here, catch, config, CVS. These are the different keywords which is present. CVS, ignore, forward, different keywords. All this 4,600 plus keywords is getting executed one by one, and it will check which folder is vulnerable. This is going to take some time, so I have already run this scan here. Let me go here. Okay, see here, I've given Derby, HTTP, my target URL, and it has run the scan. And after running this scan, right, what result do you get? Yes, we have different word lists for different functionalities, and this is a default word list of Derby. It says admin and code. What is the response code? Response code is 301. Response code here is 301. Perfect. Again, we'll scroll down. Response code is 301. See here, these are all directories which are exposed. So Derby is going to give you all. These are all bugs. Yes, 100% these are bugs, because these are directories. These are sensitive directories which are being exposed. Right? And when you scroll down, see here again directories, you have admin directory. So now you know admin is a directory of this particular site which is exposed. Yes. So what I can do, I can go here, I'll type /admin, fine, admin, enter. See here, you have this directory which is open. Asserts, uploads, you will be able to see whatever you want here. Yes. Can we report this bug? Yes, 100% you can report this bug. Previously, your approach was like this. You used Google to find directories like this. Yes, that is more random search. That is more random way of accessing vulnerable directories. But now this is targeted search. Why this is called targeted search? Because you are using a tool, and with this tool, you are targeting your target website. You are targeting only one website here, and you are getting results for your target. how we can report it as a bug. I've given you the format. Please don't tell in your bug report that you have used Derby. I've used Derby to scan your website and that's how I got this result. Right? Don't tell that. Instead, you can say, I was just browsing your website and I found /admin was vulnerable and I was able to access few of your assets. As simple as that. Yes. Whatever we do, our action will be logged in your target. Not for this. Probably it should not get logged in because you're not brute forcing the contents of the directory. You're just searching which directory is available, which directory is being exposed. So you don't have to worry about that, right? So you can, and yes, in case if you have reported bugs and they have not responded back, you will have to wait. There is no other go, right? They'll have to accept this and they'll have to reply you back. Until then, you will have to wait. Fine. So this is Derby. Derby is one excellent tool. Yes, you also have a lot of other tools which you can use. You have Directory Buster. You have Go Buster. You have so many other tools which you can use, which can also do the same thing based on the word list, type of word list what you use. Fine. Now we'll go for Nikto. Again, Nikto is a vulnerability scanner. What is the format to report? I think I have given this, shared this in the notes. Like in day 2, I have shared you how to report, what is the format and what you have to attach and other things. Right? So we'll go for Nikto. Nikto is again a vulnerability scanner. Nikto is a vulnerability scanner, which is going to run 6,000 plus test. 6,000 plus test on your target, and it is going to tell what is vulnerable in that particular website. In your target, what is vulnerable? Fine. So we'll go for Nikto here. I'll type Nikto, 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 enter. When you type Nikto, yes, it opens up in your terminal. What is that? Nikto. Fine. So Nikto, you will have the option, you will have to type host, and then give your target host URL. So what I'm going to do now, I'll clear this. I'll type Nikto -host. -host is for mentioning what is your target. And here I'll give, we'll go for which site? We'll go for acd.ac.in. We'll check. Copy this, paste it here, paste selection, enter. I've given my target, and what result do we get? It says server is Cloudflare, okay. Cookie is created without a secure flag, point number 1. And it says cross-site scripting protection, XSS protection header is not defined, which means this site can be vulnerable to cross-site scripting. Fine, that is point number 2. Uncommon header found with contents, okay. Great. And site uses SSL, that is okay. X. Fine. So this Nikto is going to tell you your target is vulnerable to what all vulnerabilities your target has. Fine. I've already scanned for another government website here. Let me show you this. Okay, I've given this. This is also a government website here, code.gov. And when you scroll down, SSL is for security. When you use HTTPS, probably you have to be using SSL for security. So all HTTPS sites will have this. And okay, this can be a vulnerability. It says code.gov does not match certificate name mismatch. That is one. So it is going to give you all the vulnerabilities. in case if there is any vulnerability present with your target, fine, Nikto is going to perform all the tests and it will give you results like this, what this site is vulnerable to. Yes, so you can try this Nikto, and you have so many other tools which you can try, but I think for this time being, yes, this will be more than enough. And when it comes to web-based tools, web-based tools will be very interesting. We'll first go for this tool, this website, which is sitecheck.securi.net. Sitecheck.securi.net. This is the first site here. So when you go for this site, you can give any domain name here, right? Give any domain name here, and we'll see what it is vulnerable for. Here I give I'll go for a Pakistan site, kpminerals.gov.pk. kpminerals.gov.pk, and scan the website. This is a government website of Pakistan, and you just have to give your target in this website, and it is going to search. It is going to search, and it is going to tell you what this site is vulnerable for. There is no malware found. Perfect. Site is not blacklisted. Excellent. And why am I targeting Pakistan? No, I'm not always targeting Pakistan. I showed you Brazilian government website. I'm targeting government websites, right? I'm I'm not against Pakistan. I'm not targeting only Pakistan sites. I'm targeting government websites. That is my area of interest. And it says the site is in medium security risk. Medium security risk. And no malware detected. Okay, website monitoring, website firewall. Okay, is not detected. And it says hardening improvements. What is hardening improvements? Hardening improvement is something which you can do to make your site more secure. Fine. And there is no website application firewall. It is good to use website firewall. SPF record is for email spoofing. SPF record is not there. Missing security header for clickjacking protection. This site is vulnerable to clickjacking. Okay. This, fine. So you get some basic information. Can you give me any one college website? We'll try this. Any one college website. Why government websites? Government website is my area of interest, as I told you. I deal with government websites. So okay. I think this is enough. We'll go for one. We'll go for one college now. I think we'll choose Kishore College. Kishore's college is kanchiuniv.ac.in. Is it real-time site? It is working. kanchiuniv.ac.in. Yes. Sri Chandrasekhara Saraswati something. Okay. Oh my God. Graphics. Great. We'll check what is this site. Okay, the site is good. It says it's low security risk. It says low security risk. Site is not blacklisted. Perfect. And the site is good. You don't have to go for this. I'll take one more site here. Please, the messages is scrolling up. We'll go for this site from Ashdeep Singh. Ashdeep Singh has given gtbit.org. gtbit.org. Guru Tegh Bahadur Institute of Technology, New Delhi. Great. So we'll go for this. Okay, it has medium security risk. The site is medium security risk. And okay, let us go for one more site. Fine. We'll take the same target. The next site, what you can go for is Immunity immuniweb.com websec. This is going to give you a lot of details again. Immuniweb websec, fine. This is going to perform a lot of tests. So I want a vulnerable college website. I don't know which college is vulnerable. Okay, this is from Anupam Maiti. Sage, oh my God. Sage University, transforming profession. Okay, we will try this. We'll try this, whether it is we'll try to analyze what is the security risk here. Sage University is low security risk. Okay, we'll then go for this one. Or I'll go for this. In this particular website, we'll go for jnuv dot. Okay, we'll take this. Co.in. Oh, it is .ac.in. JN. Okay, this JNVU. Yes. jnvu.co.in. We'll take this. jnvu.co.in. Enter. See, it is going to take some time, but this is going to scan a lot of results. I mean, like it is going to perform a lot of tests, and it is going to give you so much of details about the college website. Let me also go for this. Let the results load. Till then, we'll go for this site here and jnvu.co.in. jnvu.co.in. Okay, you guys can stop sending college website. We have got enough. We'll try to do this. So this is also loading here, and loading, and this. What happened to sitecheck.securi.net? jnvu.co.in. Okay, see here, an actual vulnerable site can be like this. When I gave this site, this particular college, which is in Rajasthan, and when we looked at the result, the site has an issue. What issue? The IP address CMS WordPress 5.4.2 and PHP is 7.1.6. Okay. Now, what is the actual issue here? We minimize this. Site is medium security risk. Site issue detected. Outdated software version detected. Fine. The Apache software is outdated. This is what vulnerability scanners can tell you. Outdated software detected. Again for PHP. When you scroll down, site is outdated. It is at high risk. Site issues detected, that is at medium risk. No firewall, no monitoring tool, security headers, what issues they have. Right? So when you have your target, it is always good. It is always recommended to try this initially, so that it is going to very clearly tell you what vulnerabilities do they have. And see, this is testing again. It has completed the test. It is preparing the report. We don't want the report, but still. Fine. So this is vulnerability analysis. You can try a lot of things about. You can try a lot of tests which can be automated or which can be manual, which you can do on your target websites. And this is whatever I have shown you. This is perfectly okay to try once. Don't keep repeatedly trying a lot of times. That is not going to be good. Fine. So let this load, and this site, yes, the site has outdated softwares. Probably that will be a high risk. Using an outdated software can lead to a lot of different types of attack, which is not good, right? Okay, so I think this will take some time to prepare the result. And yes, it is also going to show you about the vulnerabilities and others. And in case if you are interested about vulnerabilities and you wanted to learn a lot about vulnerabilities, you will have to go to OWASP. OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities, fine. OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. This is number one. This is very important. Why is it important? In case if you are a security aspirant and you are a fresher and you wanted to get a job in security field, right? You wanted to get a job in this, you go for an interview, and in interview panel you have three people sitting here, and these three people, in case if they discuss 45 minutes with you, right? In case if they have a 45 minutes of time, they spend the time speaking with you, probably 20 minutes can be questions from OWASP. They will be asking a lot of questions from OWASP. Why OWASP? OWASP has a list of vulnerabilities, top 10 vulnerabilities, which you will have to know. They'll ask you what type of security misconfigurations do you have? What do you mean by broken access control? How can you prevent broken access control? What is the countermeasures of broken access control? They can ask you questions like this, and you should be knowing what these are. What do you mean by injection, and what types of injection you have, and what do you mean by broken authentication, and what do you mean by session sensitive data exposure? This is what we have seen: sensitive data exposure, exposure of credentials, exposure of other personal information, or with regards to server. We have seen this, yes. And what countermeasures do you have? Like this, you will have to know each and everything. OWASP top 10 will be released every year of which is the most, which crime has most occurred. And yes, you will have to come up with answers for, you need a basic understanding of all this. You wanted to learn about vulnerabilities, go for OWASP top 10. This will be good, and this is much needed, and it is mandatory. Repeating scanning is a crime. Yes, it is a crime. It's a crime. You should not go for repeated scans for a particular time. Can we report to that site if it has an outdated software? Yes, for sure you can report in case if it has an outdated software, right? So let it load. Let me tell you what was the objective of our training. The objective of our training was this. Not only for this training, say for bug bounty, or you take it for pen testing, or you take it for forensics, or a SOC analyst, any type of training which we take, or which I personally take, I feel yes, we have core factors. What do you mean by core factors? Core factors are in detail concepts, and you have further more concepts which are tough. I accept that, which will be tough, which will be hard to learn, and which will take time, which will take patience, right? And you also have few topics which is green, which will be very simple to understand, right? So any new topic which you learn, it can be not only regards to hacking, any new topic, whatever you try to learn, first try to get comfortable with the easy part, right? So that you will find it interesting. You will have to cover the first basic, and you will have to cover the easier part first. Don't target for the core parts at the very beginning stage. What will happen? You will think, okay, this is a particular domain which you are learning. X can be anything. It can be in electrical, mechanical, civil, computers, whatever it is, right? This is a particular domain of topic what you are learning. And in case if you start with the core topics, you will think X is a very tough domain, right? X is a very tough domain, and it will not suit us. So whatever you're going to learn, get yourself comfortable with the basic, and you should feel, yes, this is easy. Then we'll move on to the next level. Then we'll move on to the next level. Then you will move on to the next level. So once if you have crossed these 4 levels or 3 or 4 levels like this, then moving on to the core concepts will be very easy for you. This is my mode of learning. This is my mode of teaching others. So that is why people think ethical hacking will be full of programming. Oh my God, bug hunting is very tough. We cannot do bug hunting. My ultimate objective is this. I want someone who has I want someone who is zero with ethical hacking and bug hunting. And within a short span of time, say within 1 week, this guy should first submit a report. Fine. Be it a P5 or P4, any type of bug, low level bug, but he should be comfortable in submitting a report. Once, if he has reported a bug, this will increase his curiosity. He'll be happy. He'll start learning more. He'll run at a much faster pace. That is what I'm aiming at, right? So that is why we first cover all the basic things and then move slowly step by step. So we have followed the same for ethical hacking. So ethical hacking, yes, as I've told, it has many stages, it has many steps, and we have covered the basics of the first information gathering, scanning, and vulnerability analysis. And later, yes, we have exploitation and other things which we have to concentrate, and you can move on with that. Fine. And okay, I don't know what is wrong with this. It is still running. You can analyze the report here and see what is happening. Yes. And about the certificates, yes, you will receive your certificates before Monday for sure. And about the 20 people who are going to get selected, probably before Sunday, your answers will be evaluated and you will be intimated in Telegram group, Telegram, Skype, and you'll also get a personal message in case if you're selected for the next training. And next training is what we target with for WAN-based attacks, advanced exploitation techniques, and other things. It's going to be a 10 days training for ethical hacking, which is going to be little advanced. It is not going to be basic like this, because this is a free training combination of a lot of people. And the next paid training for 10 days, what we are going to conduct is going to be intermediate with little advanced concepts of attacks and other things. And yes, these 20 people who are selected, we will intimate you, and it is free of cost for you guys to attend this 10 days of ethical hacking training. Fine. And you can contact Soumita in case if you want any details about the 10 days training. I hope you all have the details about that. And okay. Tamil medium class, yes, we have just completed CEH and CCA batch. Not completed, it is going to get completed this week. It's a 1-month batch, which is purely a Tamil batch. And apart from that, we conduct all these other trainings, which is purely based on English. And we'll come up with the next free training next month for sure. We'll target some other domains, and the next free training for sure will be for 7 days free training on any interesting topics. This ethical hacking topic was from the feedback of the last batch, network and network security free training. Those from the feedbacks what we have got, we received a lot of feedbacks asking for training for ethical hacking, and that is why we have opted for this. In case if you have any idea, if you want free training on any other basics, yes, you can ping us, you can message us about the domain in which you want the free training for, and for sure it will not be less than 7 days, 7 to 10 days of free training based on the feedback which we receive from you, right? And I hope I didn't waste your 5 days of time. and whatever information what I gave was useful to you. And thanks for all your time and patience. Yes, you can. I'm available in Instagram, and you have my link. You can search me in Instagram, and I'm also available in Facebook. But probably I'm most I respond to all the messages from Instagram. So in case if you have any other doubts, yes, you can ping me, and you can clear the doubts. And I'm also there in Skype. You can ping me there. And thanks a lot for your time and patience, for your kind cooperation. It was very happy interacting with all you guys, and hope you found this useful and interesting. And hopefully we'll meet for the next free training. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Attendance link will be shared now. Thank you.
Okay. Hope my voice is audible, guys. So I will share you the attendance link now, and a quick review. Like the Skype group, which you all are there, it is going to be active for next 1 week. So if you have any doubts related to this session, whatever topics you've seen, yes, the Skype group will be active, and we will also be there. So you can ping us in Skype, and we will assist you with that. And later on, after 1 week, obviously the Skype group is going to get removed. And with the videos, we have the drive videos which is active, that is also going to be active only for a week. So probably you can download all the videos before next Sunday. Before that, please download all the videos, and after that, please do not come up asking for drive videos, because once we move the drive, we will not be able to get the videos again. Okay, so make sure you download all the videos and notes from the drive. Okay, so that is with Skype. So I will send you the attendance link now. You can go ahead, you can post your attendance, and like we'll be here active for 10 minutes in case if you have any doubts related to any other session. Yes, I can assist you with that. Okay, so here is the attendance link. And today at assignment, you don't have any assignment today. Okay, you don't have any assignment today. We will evaluate the assignments which you already submitted, the 3 assignments. We will evaluate it, and we will come up with the results before Sunday. So in case if you are selected, yes, as sir told you, it will be notified. It is it is not mandatory that you have to join the next 10-day training. That is the 20 people who get selected. Yes, they will be able to attend the training free of cost. But then in case if you are interested to join the training, yes, you can join the training. You can ping me in WhatsApp, and I'll share you the details about the next 10-day training. And obviously, yes, that is a paid training, so you have to pay and join. We have that 10-day training detail posted in Instagram, in Prompt Infotech page. The first, the latest post of Prompt Infotech in Instagram is that 10-day training. So you can go there and you can see the details about the training, the topics which are going to cover, and the fee and all that. And the certificate, yes, you will receive it before next Monday. You will receive it in your email. So whatever email ID you have given in your attendance link, you will receive the certificate to your email. In case if you haven't received your certificate, you can let us know. We will check with the attendance criteria and we will share you. But before Monday, please do not come up asking for certificates. Please wait till Monday, and then after Monday, if you haven't received certificate, then you can ask. And yes, you can leave in case if all your doubts are done and if you've submitted your attendance, you can leave. Thank you. Assignments and certificate doesn't, it won't clash. Even if you haven't submitted your assignment, you will still receive your certificate. Your certificate will be given to you based on the attendance criteria. So it is okay if you haven't given your attendance for one day, not a problem. You will receive your certificate, so don't worry. And about the next 10-day training, you can message us, you can contact us in Instagram, or you can contact me in WhatsApp. I will share you the details about the course. Okay. So yes, thank you.